You want to go for a walk? Come on, let's go outside. Good girl. Hey guys, how's it going? I just thought I would come online for a little while and just talk about things that are kind of on my mind lately, and the trend I'm starting to see, especially this year or maybe the last couple months. It's really been prevalent, even in my own job where I work currently, and it's very obvious to me what the future is going to hold, especially in the career field that I'm in and the job that I do. The future is going to be very interesting in the next 5 to 10 years, and even more so after that time. Can't tell you exactly what we're going to do as things start to come to fruition, but the outlook of things like jobs and income, spending, things like that, even investing, health services or services in general, are going to be very interesting, to say the least. So what do I mean by all that? Well, if you haven't been hiding underneath a rock, or you haven't been staying in your mother's basement, and you've been out and about and just going to simple places like, I don't know, I haven't been to McDonald's in I'd say probably a year, a little bit over a year now, you would see that everything's being more automated. When you go to buy something or order something, you have a machine now that's greeting you and saying, hey, put in your rewards number here, or scan your QR code and place your order at this kiosk. Once you're done with the kiosk, then we'll print out a little receipt. You can pay electronically, and then you just take your seat or go to the counter and pick up your cup. You've seen it probably years before that, where you go to like TGI Fridays or some other restaurant, and you have that little movable, I don't know, little 3.5 inch or 3x5 or 5x5 a machine that sits on the table that you can bring up the menu. You can order more drinks or pay your bill, pretty much cutting out your interaction between the waiter and you if you wanted to, and the only time that they see you is when they deliver your food, or pretty much that's about it. Maybe seat you once and maybe ask you if everything's okay. But I'm seeing this as corporations in general are trying to eliminate the human factor from their cost, from their drama, from their, and I call it problem. They view it as a problem. Employees are a problem. They're not the solution. And you can see it too, even with the workers, like the people that you work with. They need to be babysat all the time. So managers, things like that, they're basically, full-grown adult babysitters that adults need to watch other adults and babysit those people, tell them what to do, when to do it, hold their hand when things go bad or things get tough, and just live with the drama. They're the ones that do the hiring and the firing and things like that, along with HR and legal and everybody else. But the future is looking pretty interesting. I'm seeing it more and more with people losing their jobs due to AI. AI is growing by leaps and bounds. I didn't really get into AI until last year, and I knew it was there, just never really delved into it because I didn't think it was much of anything at that time, because I was like, oh great, it's another Siri or another Alexa type thing, and we all know how that goes. It's really not that good. That technology does suck. If you look at ChatGPT or the like, and you've messed with it, even with the advanced voice or just typing in a prompt, you'll start to quickly notice that it's pretty damn smart. I mean, it's accurate on things that you know, right? You could test it on your knowledge on things and say, hey, uh, there was a hurricane at this time and it was this by this name. And that's, anybody could Google it and find it, find out that fact about something. And then ChatGPT will be coming back and be like, yeah, it happened this time and this is where it happened. This was the impact. This is how much rainfall occurred, how many lightning strikes or how much damage there was, the total impact to the economy and everything like that. So it can give you a whole bunch of information. There might be things that you would look up for, like health issues, stuff that your doctor tells you and be like, yeah, you have acid reflux or some other kind of health issue, and they go, hey, you should, probably cut out the tomatoes, don't eat so late, drink more water, start working out a little bit more. And then you can just go back to ChatGPT and be like, hey, this is what my doctor says. Here are my test results and things like that. Can you advise me on what I should do, or what other tests that you need, other things that I can get to you to help diagnose my issue a little better than just saying, oh, you have heartburn. You have acid reflux, so you should probably do this. And ChatGPT may be right on the money with what your doctor is telling you, or you may find out something completely different, or maybe some other home remedy that ain't going to cost you an arm and a leg every time you go to visit the doctor and say, hey, how's it going? Oh, that'll be $50, sir. Or whatever it is that they're charging nowadays. The deductibles are key in that, in having health insurance. But yeah, the future's not looking too good for regular employees, people who are programmers or white collar jobs, or even people who are just paper pushers, things like that. I can see the writing on the walls for people who do work at fast food restaurants. I mean, what had just happened, like last year, was it last year or the year before that, with the first robotic, fully automated McDonald's? I could easily see that happening in the next, I'd give it 10 years. 10 years, you're going to see every single fast food place and restaurant replace all of their staff with robots. You're going to sit down at the table, you're going to scan in at the table, and then you're going to punch in your order at the table, and out comes a robot that will deliver your food and your drinks, and you'll just pull it off the little tray system, or even it'll just deliver it to you. Maybe you'll have a Tesla bot that hands you your drinks and hands you your food. The only plus side that I see to all that on my end is I don't have to worry about tipping. Tipping, I think, is the biggest scam that we have in the US, because most of the time people demand a tip, whether the service was good or it was not. Maybe they just say 2 words to you, and you sit down and be like, yeah, I'd like to order this, this, and that. They don't suggest anything. They don't say, hi, how's it going? How's your day? They're not trying to create any kind of conversation. They just take your order, go back. Then they come back, they give you your food, and then they just disappear for the rest of the time that they're there. And then they come back all pissed off whenever you say, well, there was no service, so why should I give you a tip? And so it's like in our culture, in the US at least, that you have to tip. So, and then you look at all these tip machines, even to places you go that they aren't really doing anything, so why should I pay a tip? There's a prompt on the machine saying tip 18, 20, 28, and I've seen them up to 30, 35% tip. I'm like, what the heck? Like, what service are you providing that isn't like a normal, like, I'm going to go to McDonald's and order food? Luckily, they don't have the tip system there, but that would suck. I'm just talking about like the future. What do you think? What do you guys think? I mean, maybe you can comment below and let me know. But I'm seeing AI and all these corporations are going to be getting rid of all that stuff. They're going to eliminate all those jobs. They're going to eliminate all those people because they don't want to deal with the drama. I can see in the corporate world where there's a lot of like, paper pushers, bean counters, inventory people, or people that just sit around and do nothing. Why would they want to keep paying those kind of people? They're like, get rid of them. Or you got people that are overworked, and you have the silent quitters that just sit there and do the bare minimum because you'll never make it on that top ring of your performance of exceeds expectations, even if you do work 3 or 4 different, categories of your job. So what do you do? What are you going to say? Oh yeah, we're not going to hire any more people, but you're going to have to pick up some more work. And oh, by the way, work is about to double, triple, quadruple, and we're going to let go of about 6 or 7 people. What do you say? And what do you tell the boss? No, I'm not going to do it. Well, most of the time you're not going to say no. You're going to say okay, and you're going to go home and complain to your significant other, your kids, your mother, your father, your grandmother, whatever. Anybody who sits there, listens to you, and asks you how things are going, you're going to be like, yeah, work sucks right now, and they're just increasing my workload and not hiring anybody. So you're going to get to that point where like, yeah, it's not worth it. Then you're going to sit back and be like, here comes my review. Well, great. My review says I meet expectations. That's awesome. Oh, I slipped up. Okay, you're not meeting expectations. So here's what you should do. I'm like, dude, I'm already doing everything I can. I work salary, and you get paid, to work 40 hours a week. And then they add that little clause at the end that says, and other duties as required. Oh, I hate that line. Then all of a sudden you're seeing more and more and more duties added to you, and then your job description decides, your employer, I should say, decides we're going to change your job description. You would like a raise, right? Well, let's give you a bump. We'll give you a bump in pay, but you're going to have to do all these new things now. And guess what? We're not going to hire nobody else to help you out, so it's just you. And you better keep your stuff up to par, otherwise you're going to get written up. It's going to be not meet expectations if you slip up. So the company doesn't want to deal with those attitudes and the silent quitters. And I guess there's a newer one called silent cracking. So if you don't know already what silent quitting is, silent quitting is people who realize that resistance is futile. You still need the education, not the education, sorry. You still need the money, you still need the benefits. So you're just there to work 9 to 5, collect your paycheck, don't do anything extra, don't go above and beyond, and just do what you gotta do and go home. And that's it. So you're silently quitting because you know that it doesn't matter how much effort you put in, you're never gonna get that raise. It doesn't matter how many hours you work, you're never gonna get that raise. It doesn't matter how much you complain about there being too much work, they're not going to hire anybody to help you out. They're going to continue to downsize, they're going to continue to fire people and continue to increase your workload and expect you to do more and do it with a smile. And I think people are just fed up with it. And that's where that silent quitting came in. That became a little saying that started, I don't know, like about 2 years, maybe, no, it was probably more than that now, about 2020, where silent quitting became a thing. And now I guess the latest thing as of yet is silent cracking. So what is silent cracking? Well, silent cracking is those people who are loyal. I can't speak today. They're loyal. They've been with the company for years. They're hardworking people. They're managers. They're supervisors. They're regular employees. There's even CEOs. They're like, man, why am I here? Like, why do I put in all this effort? What am I doing? What is my mission? What's my goal? It's just to make the company more money. And then at the end of the day, I'm just another number, another cog in the system. And they don't really care. So that's those type of people that, like, you know what? They're starting to crack. They're like, okay, well, I only need to work this many years, I'm out. Or a CEO goes, I just need to make a couple $1 million bonus and I'm out. I'm going to change companies, go somewhere else. And you'll see the people that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years in a company, and they've been around and they're hoping they putting in the overtime, they're putting in the extra effort, they're doing all these other things just to come around at the end and be told, you're doing good, but we need you to do more. There's more work coming, but we're not going to hire anybody. There's all these projects coming, but we're not going to hire anybody. You could be, working at a restaurant somewhere and be like, we've had too many complaints because you're not delivering food on time, or whatever. I mean, it could be anything. You just see more and more stress, more and more demand. and less of an appreciation. And the companies don't care to give you that appreciation because they know at the end they want you to quit, so that way they don't have to pay you. They don't have to pay that insurance on unemployment. They want you to quit, and then good luck on trying to find a job that's going to meet your what you would think would be fair. You might find it, you might not. Job quality is going down, and you'll soon see it. People have no money because they're not working. A lot of people are quitting. They can't find a job, and they'll be struggling the whole time. Why am I saying all this stuff? It's written on the walls. I can see it everywhere, like I said. AI is coming. It's already here. If you haven't seen it by now, the CEOs and upper management are already trying to find the ways they can to eliminate as many jobs as possible. They're hoping, if it's a physical labor job, they're hoping that those robots come sooner than later. And they're hoping that those robots can be easily trained. And they'll keep 1 or 2 humans around to train them, make sure that they're doing good. And as soon as those robots are efficient and they can do your job and then some, you're gone. You're history. In the beginning, I thought, well, yeah, they'll probably do that for all like the McDonald's and things like that, and reduce the employees, and then you just have a maintenance guy / manager who is the technician that takes care of the robots, make sure that they're repaired, make sure that the shelves are stocked, be that human interaction with somebody just in case the robot messes up someone's order or something like that. But at the end of the day, even that guy's role can be replaced by a manager robot. His whole job is that. And the voice and everything could just be a screen, like a video screen that you would talk to and be like, oh, it's a real person, because you wouldn't be able to tell unless you knew certain words or keywords. And even then, AI is getting pretty clever nowadays. Video things like that. But I'm just telling you that things are going to start changing real quick. I feel sorry for the younger generation, these kids that are in elementary school, middle school, high school, and even in college. They just have no idea what's coming the next couple of years. They don't care. All these kids that I see are living in fantasy land. They don't live in reality. It's anime everything and peaches and cream, or they're just extreme drama queens. So I've seen it. It doesn't matter, if they're high school now or college. I see it in the workplace. They just can't handle the job, and they're already quitting. But then what are they relying on? They're relying on the millennials and the Gen Zs that are their parents, and probably the boomers, if the boomers are still having the kids, right? But most of the time, right now, it's going to be the millennials and the Gen X's that are having these kids, and they just let the kids do whatever they want, right? Say whatever they want, do whatever they want, and then there's no parental backing. I should say. I don't know how to explain that. There's no parental reinforcement of positive behavior, work ethic, working hard, working the grind. And then as adults now, like myself, I'm Gen X, I look at that statement and I look at my job and I'm like, let me just tell my son, you know what? Don't waste your time going to college. If you're going to do a job, make sure you work hard so you have that parental, support. Just go get the job that you want to do, and if the job requires you to have a degree, okay, go to do the degree explicitly for what it is that you're trying to work for, what you're trying to do. Don't waste your time at a college or university unless you absolutely have to, because that's a waste of money. Because I look at my degree. When I was growing up, everybody's like, you must go to college. If you want to make good money, you have to go to college. You need a bachelor's degree at least in order to make good money. But doing the job I've been doing, seeing the people I've worked with and worked around, you don't need anything but a GED, to be honest with you. You just need a GED and a good work ethic. That used to be the case, and you could get away with all that stuff. That you didn't really need a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD unless the job required it, like a nurse or a doctor or something like that that would require you to have a degree. But like the IT field, for example, you just need certs, certifications, experience. You could be, playing with computers at school, doing voluntary work, work for a church or whatever, and you just mess with computers on a weekend or daily basis or whatever for fun. But I'm seeing it now that people are going to school. Oh, I'm going to be a programmer. I'm going to be a designer. I'm going to be a graphics designer. I'm going to be an HR person. I'm going to be an accountant. I'm going to be a lawyer, a historian. I'm going to be an economist. But if you really think about it and you look at AI, you're like, dude, anything that anybody would want to hire you for to get the answer for, all they got to do is say, hey, ChatGPT, hey, Gemini, hey, Llama, what is this and what is that? Here's a photo of this thing, what's going on here. Why would they need to hire you? Right? If you're a graphics designer, for example, what can you do that AI can't do now? And there's a whole bunch of technology out there. Like, it seems like every day you turn around, turn on the TV, turn on the news, turn on the computer. If you look for it, you'll see it. But if you're not paying attention, it's going to sneak up on you. But there's like hundreds of apps. It's kind of like the iPhone days. When the iPhone first came out, I saw the iPhone. I was like, no one's going to buy that. It's too fragile. It'll break. It's just a glorified, cell phone with a touch screen. That's all it is. And then after a year or two of seeing it around, everybody's got one. And I saw, how cool it was that you could browse the internet. You could watch YouTube on it. You could listen to music. You didn't have to have 2 or 3 pieces of equipment to do what you could do with the iPhone, right? You can listen to music. You could, browse the internet. You can watch YouTube. You didn't have to carry, a special, iPod with you, or a Zune, or whatever the tech was back then. You wouldn't need all that stuff. You just have to have an iPhone. You're good to go. Now technology has just changed so much, so rapidly, that I see that ChatGPT and all these others, Grok, Gemini, Llama, there's plenty others, deep seek or deep research. There's plenty out there now that they're all competing to get to first place. And even today, I pay for ChatGPT. I literally pay for it. I was paying for Grok. I was paying for Gemini, but I was like, they're all the same. But I find that ChatGPT is more to my liking, and I do use it. I use it a lot. And even for my job right now, I use it right now. And I can only imagine that if I wasn't using it right now to pick up the pace of my work and to pick up the abilities to do more things with less people and less time, then, I would really be struggling. And I am struggling still, even with it, because I still need a physical body, more people to help out with my job, at least. And that's the struggle that I have as an employee. I am that person that is silent or quiet cracking. But why do I bring all this up? Is because, as you've seen in my channel, I try to share videos of how to get out of debt, how to be financially free, how to invest for yourself. And I need to post more, and I will. It's just my job, dude, keeps me so busy, so tied up, so wrapped up that I don't even have time to post anything. And this is just a fast video here. Yes, I'm talking for like 30 minutes in this thing, but I don't have time to edit. I don't have an editor. I can't edit, but I could use ChatGPT. I could use some kind of AI program out there to clean up the video, cut out the ums and the uhs and everything like that, and edit it for me. But I think that will be the future of YouTube and things like that. Is people will want authenticity. They want to see a face. They want to talk to a person. They won't want to talk to some AI bot necessarily. But the younger generation, they're going to be raised with it. right? So if my son has kids, they're going to be raised with ChatGPT. They're going to expect everything to be AI. It's kind of like that now with my son and my daughter. Is they're so into technology, they don't know how to use it, and they can't survive without it. So what I mean by that is they have all this technology, immense technology and capability in the palm of their hands, but yet they refuse to use it for what it is, as a tool. They only use it for entertainment. They'll use it to chat with other people. They'll use it for social media. They'll use it for watching YouTube, TikTok, you name it, but they won't use it for the actual tool that it is. Like, for example, I have ChatGPT on my phone, and I have Grok on my phone. I have all these AI tools on my phone. Why? Because my job requires me to stay on top of tech. I have to stay on top of tech. I got to know what's going on with technology so that I can innovate and advance my technologies with that technology to help advance the overall technology for everything that I handle. I try not to go into too many details about where I work or what I do, but those people who know me, they know me. I share my finances. I have nothing to hide. And honestly, I'm working on my exit plan. And everybody else should be working on their exit plan too. You need to take it serious. AI is going to be taking everyone's jobs. Even if you think it's not going to take your job, that there's no way that the AI is going to come and take your job. Let's just put it this way. The job that I do, there's only a handful of people in the entire world that do what I do. And it's not something super miraculous. And if my job ever disappeared, you really wouldn't notice it, because someone else would come in and they could pick it up and do the job eventually. Maybe like a year or two of them reverse engineering. A smart person could reverse engineer or take it to ChatGPT and be like, hey, figure out this and what happened here and how was this done. And someone could figure it out if they had the wherewithal to do that kind of investigation. But I look at it like this. So I feel like, oh yeah, I'm stable in my job. No one else does what I do, so I'm safe. But then I start looking at AI, and I look at agents, and I look at the capacity of the way technology is going and robots and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, I could easily be replaced in like 5 years. Probably faster than that. If a robot was to come into play right now to do what I do right now, just ChatGPT with AI, with the AI robot, could easily do my job. Right? It could easily do my job, and it could do it more efficiently. It would still have to have a manager or something to direct it in the beginning, but once it becomes AGI, and that's artificial general intelligence, in my opinion, it can think for itself. It knows what to do. It can handle everything that it needs to get done. It just needs direction, so a manager or a project to tell it, hey, do this project from beginning to end. And like, hey, got it, and it does it all. It could do it. In fact, I foresee that if I don't make my exit or prepare my exit plan, I could potentially be training my own replacement. And it's not going to be a person because, like I stated before, kids of the generation Z and alphas, they're just too, for a lack of better words, they're just too flaky. They can't handle stress. They can't work in high stress environments. I'm trying to find the words. They can't work in high stress environments. They can't work in high demand environments and work long hours without complaining. So just to give you an idea, my average week is at least 60 hours a week. I work about 60 hours a week, if not pretty close to 80 or 90 on sometimes. And that's due to traveling. It takes time to get to places. Some of the sites I work at, I work a minimum of 10 to 12 hours a day. And then when I leave the site, go back to the hotel, I'm still working until way late at night. Sometimes 12, 1 o'clock in the morning until I pass out. And then I have to get up at 6 or 5 and do it all over again the next day. So you could see the hours get ate up really quick, really fast. So what I'm trying to say is the kids nowadays, they complain with just 4 hours of work. With 4 hours of work, oh, they're abusing me. Oh, I can't do it. And I'm like, come on, man, it's just 4 hours of work. So you see what I'm saying? And if you haven't seen it, just take a look around where you work. Everybody demands, that you pay them more, but the attitude is still the same, right? Minimum wage goes up everywhere, and everybody's happy for 1 minute, and then you go through the drive-through of someplace, and they're like, what do you want? Or whatever, right? And the only reason why I bring up the fast food is because most people can relate to fast food. I'm trying my best not to eat any fast food just because of health reasons. I'll eat Chick-fil-A and some other places, but even then I still cut down dramatically on eating out. And a lot of it is health, like I said, but a lot of what I'm noticing is the attitude. The more money you make doesn't mean the attitude goes away. Same thing with being wealthy. The more money you make, if you haven't fixed yourself, you're still going to have the same problems, if not more problems. And I'm noticing this more so now this year than any other year. In that case of you make more money, there's more problems, because more money doesn't give you more freedom is more true now than it was before. Yes, more money can certainly help with a lot of situations, but also there's a lot more new problems. For example, the year before this one, my normal paycheck, just working, my 9 to 5, plus I work overtime, but they never paid overtime. It was salary. So it didn't matter if I worked 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Trying to get overtime was impossible. So asking for overtime would already be too late, because the time they make you work, they don't care. They'll say, oh, you didn't get prior approval to put in for overtime, so you're not getting paid the overtime. Oh, but if you worked all these hours, we'll give you comp time. Okay, so where's the comp time being recorded? Is it in a ledger somewhere? And if I want to take it, can I take it? No, you can never take it. It's not written down anywhere. And if that manager leaves that tells you had comp time, well, then you got no leg to stand on, because it's just your word against HR, and it ain't documented nowhere. So you're kind of screwed there. So what I mean by all that stuff is more money, more problems. I was working full time, and I still owed the IRS. At the end of the day, I still owed them like $2,000 or $3,000 in taxes, and I was filing single and zero. I wasn't claiming my kids. I wasn't doing like married and joint. Single and zero on my, I think it's called it's not the W, is it a W-2? W-2 or W-4, it's the one that you fill out for your tax status, and I always put it single and zero, so they take out the max from me, because every year I always owed in taxes. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Then last year, I'd say, the 2024 tax season, which is this last one that I just did, I filed for an extension, and then I put my taxes in because I was like super late. I couldn't do it because of travel. And I finally got time to sit down. I took it to a tax person. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I use TurboTax every year, and I always owe money. Here, can you do my taxes? Well, last year I cleared about $56,000 in dividends, roughly about $56,000 in dividend income. And I took them all of my tax information. They do all the paperwork, and they go, okay, you owe the IRS $14,000. I'm like, damn, man, that's a lot of money. I don't have that kind of cash right now. Like, I'd have to liquidate stocks or something to get $14,000 in paying taxes. So now I'm on a payment plan with the IRS, paying monthly at 7.5 or 7 point something percent interest on top of that. And I'm paying about $500 a month to pay them. And I was like, man, this is really going to hurt. And then, so last year, like I was saying, I made $56,000. And I was like, man, this is not going to be good, because my income and my investments are really going good. And there's no complaint there. Like, that's what I want. That's what everybody wants. You don't want to throw money into an investment and never make any money and never appreciate in value. But I'm also looking at the writing on the wall. I'm like, man, AI is going to come. It's going to swoop up my job. So I have to make enough money, at least 3 times my salary now, so that way I can quit. And the reason why you want 3 times your salary is so that you have the amount you need to pay all your bills and all your expenses without changing your lifestyle, and have 1/3 to give to Uncle Sam, because you know he's going to have his hand in your pocket. He wants that money. And then the other third to keep growing the account, right? So I split it in thirds. So if you made $3,000, 1,000 goes to your bills, 1,000 goes to the IRS, and 1,000 goes to reinvest to help grow the account. Because you want to keep growing your account just to keep up with inflation, to keep with expenses, whatever is going to come up in the future, like if your car breaks down or your cell phone dies and you need to get a replacement. That's another thing I'll talk about later on, is the cell phone thing. But I'm looking at AI. I'm like, man, I really got to get my account growing quick. So I did it this year. The problem is now I'm going to owe like $56,000. The exact same amount of money I had made last year, I'm going to owe this year in taxes, because I've grown my account so dramatically and so fast, because I'm very aggressive with my investments. I take the risk. Government takes no risk, but they take your money. So the problems do increase. The more money you make, the more problems you have. Someone's going to be trying to get your money one way or another. If it isn't your family members, your friends, your cousins, the neighbors, your coworkers, long lost cousins, someone's going to have their hand out trying to take your money. And they will shame you from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. And if you're a weak person, they're going to get what they want. And on the other end, you can be the strongest person on the face of the earth, but guess what's going to happen if you tell Uncle Sam, no, I'm not giving you no money? They're going to come take your shit. They could put you in jail, which is, pretty trashy. Or they'll just make your life a living hell, or you're paying lawyers, and lawyers are going to take your money too if you want representation. So anyways, all of that mess, to get back to the beginning, was people need to have an exit plan. You need to be focusing on it now. Don't wait until later. You got to find your exit plan. And if that is working another job, or investing like crazy, or following my videos, they're boring as hell. Finances are always fucking boring. And excuse my French, and I'm sorry for that. I'm not going to edit this out. But if you don't learn how to balance your budget, how to handle your finances, how to invest, you're going to be hurting. And it's going to happen quick. It's going to happen in the next 5 years or 10 years. 5 years at the earliest, but it's definitely the writing is on the wall. It's there. I'm telling you right now that it's going to happen. So you need to get on it. You got to get on it. You got to start paying off those bills, pay off the credit cards, pay off the car. Focus on everything you can to minimize how much debt you have. Grow your investments. Try to put money in a secure manner that will still pay you, but at a reduced tax effort. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And I've explained it before, that I started doing something that will help pay the bills, but I can take the money out not tax-free. It's all tax-free money. But there's still a cost to that. Nothing's free. So, but you got to do something. You got to do something now. I'm telling you now, this is your warning, that you have got to, if you're working right now and you're working 9 to 5 and you think you have a cush job, oh, you sit behind a desk, you're like the VP of something, or you're a manager of something, and all you got to do is come in and do your job and kick back, and you can hee ha ha and gossip all day, or maybe you're not one of those people. Maybe you come in, I work my butt off, my company loves me, they praise me all the time, I'm getting raises every single year, I'm a go-getter, I'm a hard worker, ain't no way they're gonna fire me, my job ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now, if you sit behind a desk, you sit behind a computer, a monitor, mouse, keyboard right now, your job's gonna be gone in about 5 to 10 years. Why? Because the company you're working for is doing everything in their power to eliminate every physical body that sits there and does nothing but punch numbers into a computer. I'm telling you right now, that's going to be gone. And even if you're not a number puncher, maybe you're an IT person, maybe someone that just sits around waiting for that person to come in and say, oh, my computer doesn't work, my password needs to be reset, my printer's not working, can you set up my account in Active Directory? Oh, my email's all blocked up. People are going to go like, ChatGPT, fix this. Or they'll create a ticket. HR and IT will start firing people, and they'll have an automatic ticketing system that's linked to your account. You'll put in the ticket with whatever the problem is, and AI will go in, fix all those problems, reset your password, send you an email notification, give you a call, and it'll sound like a legit person answering your problem and fixing your computer right there on the same corporate network. You see what I'm saying? You might have 1 or 2 IT people, but at the end of the day, I'd give it like 10 years, all those physical bodies will be gone. The corporations are looking for a way to get rid of everyone. They just are. I'm just warning you right now. The writing's on the wall. And as soon as robots come available to every major corporation, you're going to see them fly off the shelves and people fly out the doors on their butt. And if you aren't ready, you aren't saving, you aren't investing, you aren't cutting down your debt today, I mean, like, really, you got to get your finances under control, because if you lose your job today, what happens to you? What happens to your family? And I keep going back to this one analogy that I like to use more recently now, since I heard it from somebody. I can't remember who I heard it from. But you know how you go on a flight, if you took in a flight recently, and you listen to the safety brief, and you pull up the little pamphlet, and the very first thing they'll say, oh, when the bags come drop out of the ceiling in your face, make sure you put your mask on first, and then help others around you. Well, I'm trying to tell you right now, you need to help yourself first. You got to help your family second. But you got to help yourself first. Help you and your immediate family, like your wife, your kids. You got to get them financially free. You got to help them out. Help them out first. That is your priority first. Then you help out your neighbor. Then you help out your church. Then you help out your community. But you got to take care of number one first. You got to take care of yourself, because at the end of the day, no one's there for you except for your family, your immediate family right there. Your wife, your kids, or your husband, your spouse, your significant other, they're there for you. So you need to be there for them. You got to take care of them. It's the responsibility of being a man. You got to take care of the family. If it's the responsibility of a single mom or a single dad, well, guess what? You're a dad, you got to take care of your child. You're a mom, you got to take care of your child. You can't take care of your child, you can't do it first if you don't take care of you first. So you got to do this now. You got to get on it. You got to start paying off them bills. Start looking for other opportunities to try to grow your investments, and do it quick. Do it immediately. Because when people start losing their jobs, no one knows what's going to happen to that economy. I see the economy going to be booming. It's going to be booming a lot. And why is that? Because corporations are going to be like, man, we've made record amounts of money this year. And why is that? Because we fired all of our employees. We don't have any overhead. We don't have to worry about people getting sick. We don't have to worry about people, slip and falls, or getting sued by people because, workman's comp or something happening at the office, or someone burned the business down, or someone was doing drugs in the back in the kitchen and someone got sick, stuff like that. Things that happen all the time. Maybe not in your area, but I've heard all these stories, and much worse stories. But you need to start working now. You got to do it now. I don't care if you only make $10 extra a month. You have like $10 of cash. Cut out that Starbucks. Cut that Starbucks out. If you spend $10 a day, and I know someone that does, and you know who you are, you spend about $10 a day. After 100 days, you spent $1,000. You spent $1,000 of money at freaking Starbucks. Imagine if you took that $10 a day or $10 a week and you put that into an account. In 52 weeks, you got $520 sitting there. And it's compounding every single day. If you do the right investments, don't just put it in anything. Don't just put it in random stuff. Put it in something that's going to pay you. You don't put your money into an investment and get nothing in return. That's what they've been telling you way back in the day. Oh, just invest in the stock market. Put your money into like a Roth IRA or a 401k. Then you got those people managing your money. And then what happens to that? I'll talk about that later. But right now, I think this video is way too long. But if this inspires anything for you to start thinking, you got to start getting out of debt and do it today. Don't wait until it's too late. Until next time, guys, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.